This college football picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users $1,000 no sweat bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Hey, this is Jeremy Roenick, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Colby's like laughing during the pre-rolls.
Hey, this is what's up, Sean? So often Colby will have something where he's just watching the internet. The internet's just live streaming to him, and he has to show me in the moment where I'm trying to do a million things to get the show going. And I was getting into character because not only am I wearing my sick ass college football experience shirt in Hokies colors, store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com, but if you have not been paying attention and keeping up to speed with the Michigan story,
Connor Stallions,
Uncle T, new character has popped up in the drama.
Oh, okay.
He is a local, allegedly a CEO of a local auto parts conglomerate in Detroit. Yeah, that guy's actually declined multiple times, saying he's not Uncle T. But
sounds like some Uncle T would say.
Uncle Tommy over here. Oh, Tommy DeVito.
Bada bing.
I do.
He actually does this, the Italian fingers thing to celebrate touchdowns. It's so perfect.
Uncle Tom. I know some people have alluded it's Uncle Tom Brady, but what if it's Uncle Tommy? Or what if someone misread the T and it's really an M and it's Uncle Money? Anyway, long. If you have not read some of the stuff, just do yourself like it's a little. There's some long form stuff out there. Head over to Yahoo. I'm plugging something else for free right here, but head over to Yahoo. Read their stuff on this because holy crap, this is maybe the greatest. This is maybe the greatest sports scandal from my perspective where I've gotten into it in my lifetime.
Really?
Ooh. It's up there with probably the steroids of like the early 90s, like the home run race and then the steroid, like for just in terms of like, this you can't make this shit up. I mean, we hear some crazy shit in college sports all the time. Like the college guy, like the coach hiding the gun and a lot of stuff that's
poison
like, okay.
the trees.
But this is the first time where we've gotten to the point where like, oh, okay, there's something bigger going on here. Clearly Michigan at least thinks they're the Illuminati.
They did fire their linebackers coach. So for destroying evidence of them not.
Oh, I 100%. I'm
participating.
confident a lot of people knew about Connor Stallions and they bragged about it. And we're gonna find out about like how that he was at some weird ceremony in the belly of some building that no one knew existed on the campus of Michigan. And we're gonna be one step closer to knowing that the aliens exist. So.
There you go. Covered a lot of ground there. We got a bunch of college football picks to get to. And of course, if you're getting down on college football, the NFL, whatever it is, you got to be doing it over at Bet365. Sign up using our QR code here if you're watching live on YouTube or the link in the bio or over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Bet365. Support the Sports Gambling Podcast and get access to a great book. A book that I mean, you want to talk about numbers? 88 million players worldwide. That is a book this is a book you can trust. Great prices, especially on some of the stuff we give out for first touchdown. Kramer and I coming off the Josh Oliver mega cash and first touchdown bets like that. Perfect way to use your bonus bets. You can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets, or up to $1,000 risk-free bets.
Some say that's the real good book, Sean.
Which book? Oh, the Bet365.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. They should. Who needs a hotel Bible when you have Bet365, aka the real good book, profit boosts. which who wouldn't want more profits? I mean, they really do have a bunch of fun options, and even the early payout offer in the NFL. If your team goes up 17 points, you can cash out. That is a great opportunity. Again, get the no sweat bet or the bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And of course, Little C's, love Little C's and their pepperoni pizza with the pretzel crust, the Little C's wings, the cookie dough brownie bites. Little C's has it all. Perfect snack when you're watching the National Football League, or hey, it's unofficially. Also great, pairs perfectly with college football, pairs perfectly with some parlays over on Bet365. It is a delicious treat for your game day snacking companion. I mean, they have crazy bread with cheese inside. It's just insane the flavor they jam into these pizzas. Crazy bread, they got it all. Delivery or our in-store pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends, enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars Pizza.
Oh, sorry. I'm just adding some pretzel crust pizzas to the
Come
order.
on. Kramer's filling up our card over on YouTube. Let's go.
All right, where are we at? Let me. So many. God.
Logan Banks in the YouTube chat saying got Little Caesars yesterday and hit Josh Oliver first touchdown.
Do you think it was related?
It doesn't feel unrelated. I'll say that.
I like that. That was an excellent use of the double negative. I did notice on the college basketball stream, which by the way, we already did a college basketball episode covering the Wednesday game. So go check that out if you missed it. I did notice that someone was complaining that there was not pretzel crust available at their local Little C.
I'm talking to Julius himself. We'll get this figured out.
I would say it's been pretty impressive to know that we could just zap a supply of delicious pretzel crust. All right, let's get to the games. I'm sure Colby reduced slate this week because it's Thanksgiving.
Had to cut a few games. Really pissed me off, guys.
To calm down. And I know that I'll update a couple of the numbers that you'll see on the graphic might be a little stale, so I'll update you on those. We start with a tradition like none other. It's the Egg Bowl Thanksgiving week. The screen says 11.5. It's since come down to 11. Ole Miss favorites on the road in Stark Vegas, Mississippi State. They got a interim head coach
playing for a bowl game though.
The guy they hired after Mike Leach, it didn't work out super well. Minus 500 for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. He could be moving on after the season.
Ooh, Texas A&M.
Mississippi State plus 380, 55.5 is the total. In some ways, Lane Kiffin would be perfect for the pageantry out there in College Station. In some other ways, I know current Texas A&M fans would be pissed off if they hired Lane Kiffin. They still think they can get Dan Campbell. He's waiting until after the season. Do you get the coach bump here, Colby?
I mean, this game's always insane. This is one of the, in my opinion, this, like, everyone talks Ohio State, Michigan, Army, Navy. This is on that level if you love college football.
And
if you know college football, like this game, what they had the guy pissing in the end zone that got they lose the game on the extra point. This game's always been insane.
And it kicks off at 4:30 out here local time, which means it is
going to be lit.
Well, it's staggered
Vegas
in between the NFL games, kind of. And so depending on, because they create some space in the NFL slate, you kind of are going to have a little bit of time where this might be the only game you got on, or the best game you'll have on.
Yeah, and I mean, folks.
Rivalry game at home. Don't you just have to throw? Don't you have to take Mississippi State in the points here?
No, I'm with you. Look, this game this is just an insane game. You have to me, it's a no brainer. Go out and read the book Blood Feud about the history of this rivalry, because I mean, I get the case for Ole Miss, much better team, much better talent, and maybe you get a focused squad here, but. I'm going home dog. Mississippi State 11 points is too much. Hail State.
Did I see this is like this is the interim head coach for Mississippi State. This is his third time doing this, being an interim head coach.
Yeah, not third Egg Bowl though. I don't believe.
No. But third time acting as an interim head coach for a program. Give me Lane. I think that one of the things that Mississippi State did to themselves this year was they inexplicably went to a completely different style of football.
A lot of that's true. That was very stupid.
And
it was very stupid when you had all these seniors. If anything, Leach's team
ride it out with that offense,
dude. I'm telling you, had Leach not passed away,
this would have been the year.
This was the year for them to take the SEC
But
West.
you know what? This is like when the triple option team decides they're gonna all of a sudden be a spread team. It doesn't work right away.
Yeah,
So
how's Wisconsin looking?
Yeah, Ole Miss lay the points.
Dairy Raid.
Not giving the
Hail State.
Not giving the Discord an early pick. Shout out to Mike Leach. I was a Mike Leach guy, not a Hail State guy. TCU. Eli Manning told me to take Ole Miss. TCU heads to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. Sooners. You're seeing 11 on the screen. It's since moved to 11.5, minus 485 on the money line. TCU plus 370. 63 is the total. Where this is now Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the West Coast, 11 a.m. local time.
This is weird because they had a 9 a.m. Pacific game last week too against BYU,
and that was in the Mountain Time zone.
Yeah.
But can you go grab me a couple of those Advils? Because what I'm trying to do is understand the Big 12 conference race.
Is that code for something? You want an advocate?
I've been saying this for a while though. I think we were talking about this Saturday morning. But these teams moving to like gigantic conferences next year, you're already seeing it in conferences with 12 and 14 teams. You're going to get a lot of teams. I actually think in the future, you're not going to want to play in your conference championship. You'll be team 3 would have an advantage.
Here's my prediction on what happens, because you're right. They're going to realize that suddenly you have an 18 team conference and you have no divisions. You will have insane amount of log jams of teams tied, and you're going to realize that these like 7th tiebreakers where you're just talking about their strength of schedule is stupid. And they're going to be like, the pendulum's going to swing back and it's going to be like, well, we need divisions. And all of a sudden you're going to
call Uncle T.
You're going to be back to that situation where like each conference is now running their own mini playoff.
Yeah.
And you're going to have like, oh, well, what if we had 4 divisions and each division winner made the playoff? It's gonna end up creating something like that.
Hold on, let me try to explain this. So Oklahoma State actually controls their own destiny. If Oklahoma State beat, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, they play BYU. If they win, they're in the Big 12 championship game.
They like their odds.
If Texas also controls their own destiny. If they beat Texas Tech, they're in. However, if they lose and Oklahoma wins, Oklahoma has the tiebreaker. You also have Kansas State in the mix, who didn't play Oklahoma, so that there's a way Kansas State can get in there too that I'm still unsure about, because they have the head-to-head loss to Texas. I think they would need Texas to win.
And on top of the games of the teams in contention, the other games matter because it affects the strength.
Yes.
Against.
Yes, because they're looking at the conference records.
So like you end up worrying about a game between two teams that aren't in the race.
You're sitting there sweating out Cincinnati, Houston, like saying,
I need this team to win, so they look like a stronger team to help me. So it sounds like you're basically saying that you're not going to lay the points with Oklahoma.
No, I don't think Oklahoma's that good, guys. But
is this a spot where they're, as you said, they need to win, they need to get in?
I think they're probably going to win the game, but I think like last week BYU was with their backup quarterback, man. It was terrible, but they probably should have lost that game. So it's like,
I guess
you look at like all of their games in the past like 5 or 6 games, with the exception to the West Virginia game. They probably should have lost to UCF in Norman.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the points just because I think they're very similar, like from a talent level right here. I feel like they're very similar. I think Oklahoma's probably going to win.
Yeah. I mean, TCU played Texas tough, played Texas Tech tough. Yeah. All right. You're all right.
A lot of 1-score games for Oklahoma.
I like fading Oklahoma, but I'm slightly worried they get up for this game, but you talked me into the Horned Frogs.
No, I think that they've just played a lot of close games.
I just don't think they're the edge. Like it's not like Oklahoma 5 years ago or 6 years. Like they're on the same level of talent, in my opinion, than almost every team in the Big 12.
And I'm getting more and more in on the idea that like them going to the SEC is a horrible idea. What in 10 years is Oklahoma close to a
they're
power?
Going to be Arkansas 2.0.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. UTSA heads to Nolens to take on the Green Wave of Tulane. Tulane -3, -165. UTSA +140. Meet 52 is the total. I know I saw UTSA's head coach getting some some talk about maybe moving on to a bigger and better job after the season. This is 12:30 out here on the West Coast,
which is interesting because Willie Fritz, he turned down Georgia Tech last season. People were shocked. Georgia Tech was offering more money. And I think this is another thing we can talk about moving forward. Does it make more sense knowing that you have an auto bid starting next year to the playoffs as the top group of 5, or would you rather get paid a tiny bit more?
Well, I think A&M's in question.
Oh well, if A&M, I mean, they have legit like.
But don't you
money,
think that he's like kind of? I know they're probably going to go splashier, but isn't he a dark horse candidate to get in state? Same state. He's had all the success.
Same state. Oh, you're talking Trailer. Okay, I thought you were talking Willie Fritz.
No, not Willie Fritz. Sorry, Willie Fritz is also in.
Oh no, Trailer. That one makes 100% sense. You know what I mean? The Willie Fritz thing though, at Tulane, where he turned down Georgia Tech. That's the first time really in history where you're seeing.
Where's he going?
Well, he's staying at Tulane.
Well, they're a private school, a shitload of money.
Well, I think Georgia Tech could have offered more though.
Yeah, those are nerds. They don't want to play football.
I think that's the interesting spot is now it's much easier to make the playoffs at Tulane than it is at Georgia Tech. So it might make more sense to stay there. But look, the winner of this game is going to play in the AAC championship, most likely, unless SMU loses to Navy, which I guess is possible because they have a history of fucking them up. But
UTSA is good on the road too. And Frank Harris coming off another great game.
Pratt's back.
Yeah, he's money. That dude is just he's one of my recent memory all-time favorite guys just to watch play football.
I think UTSA gets it done in New Orleans, and they are a live dog. Give me the Roadrunners, Colby.
I'm going Fritz. Man. Fritz is, I think, the better coach. But
who wants the next job more? That's what this game is.
If it was in San Antonio, I would probably take UTSA.
But UTSA is good on the road. I think they could sneak up on this Tulane team. I think they're going to be able to throw on them. I think they're going to be able to move the ball.
Who do you think you don't think Willie Fritz pops up as a candidate for whatever big?
No, they're saying Mississippi State. Mississippi State is.
If you're Willie Fritz, are you taking Mississippi State job over?
I'm not, because I think it's similar to the Georgia Tech thing. Is my point is like at Mississippi State with the new SEC,
you're gonna be the bottom.
Yeah. So to me, why not stay at Tulane? And look, you might have another opportunity in like 2 years to coach Michigan or something. You know what I mean? Like,
good call.
Yeah,
Colby's right, and I'm going to lay the points with Tulane here. I do think that there has been a shitload of buzz about the. Yeah, I mean, what are the chances that UTSA's head coach stays for next year? 0, right? He has to jump now.
I mean, he turned down, I believe, he turned down like Texas Tech or something, or some Big 12 job. But I think if A&M offers it, he's gone.
We'll see if Dan Campbell ends up getting
A&M has just. I mean, come on, they just paid a guy $70 million to not coach.
That's insane.
You know what I mean?
Also, how dumb are they? Don't they like look in the mirror at all about this kind of stuff and be like, guys, let's not do that again.
They're gonna start another war.
Why do we give coaches these clauses? They're not that like irreplaceable. It's crazy. Texas Tech heads to Austin to take on Texas. You know, Colby, you told us that Texas was going to get everyone's best shot. They keep taking everyone's best shot and dealing with it. Minus 13.5 here, minus 600.
They covered against Iowa State. That was annoying. And shout out to us. We did give you a nice cash with the money line round robin. It went 2-1, but still a nice payout. Would have been sweet if we would have got Iowa State in there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, maybe we need to open our eyes to the fact that Texas is playing good ball. Texas Tech plus 440, 53 is the total.
Or the fact they've played half their schedule with backup quarterbacks. It pays to be lucky. Give me Texas Tech. They're going into filthy Austin. See you at Vince Young's Steakhouse afterwards. All right.
Have they
the minister of culture will be there.
Have they not also played their backup quarterback?
Yes.
For what, 1 game? Or 2? 2.
I'm asking for transfer.
Kramer, do we have to, is this one of Colby's blind spots where we have to just take Texas because he's blind to the fact of how good they are because he just blindly hates them as
my
team.
Thesis is that they are getting the best shot from everyone.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with it. And
you ready for the backup quarterbacks they played?
I'm
ready for this. Rice, Wyoming, Baylor, Kansas, TCU, Iowa State.
All right.
That's incredible. That's like almost every fucking opponent.
So we should take Texas Tech. All right, let's go Texas Tech.
All right. Yeah.
Guess what? Texas Tech starting their backup quarterback, Baron Morton. They're still going to win though because he started some games last year.
25% of the bets, but 52% of the money on Texas Tech. Sean over at VSiN on the betting splits.
When in doubt, take the dog in a rivalry.
Look at all these great rivalry games. Still on Friday, 5:30 on the West Coast. We're heading to Eugene.
Oh, tough loss for Oregon.
Oregon State. You got to wonder how much of the old emotional tank was deployed last week. Now, and that was an awesome game. Now they take on in-state rival for. Do they still call it the Civil War?
The final Civil War.
The final Civil War. I doubt it will be the final one. Oregon State catching 14.5. This has moved to 14 in some places. 49 or plus 490 is the money line for Oregon State. Minus 675 for Oregon. 62 is the total. It's looking more and more like Oregon's going to play themselves into the playoff.
Unless the final Civil War with Oregon State, you realize if Oregon State beats Oregon,
that's it,
and Arizona beats Arizona State, Arizona plays for the Pac-12 championship.
Whoa!
Give me Oregon here. This is, Oregon is just on an insane run. I thought they might have a letdown spot in Arizona State. No, they win by 36. Take care of USC. They just, they won in Utah 35-6. Like, I don't know what else we want to see from this Oregon
It's a
Ducks
massive
team.
number.
It is a massive number, but I think Oregon State, not the same team on the road, and a massive letdown spot after, as you said, Ryan, emotionally unloading the tank. Give me Oregon by double digits, minus 14, no problem.
Well, let me say, since Jonathan Smith's been there, Oregon State would have covered in Eugene every time.
I was going to say this is a big number.
I'll take the points. This is the final Civil War. They're going to get the fuck up for this one.
And like the situation of them being favored last week too. Like there was some weirdness there.
That snap doesn't go over the fucking punters in the middle of the monsoon. Like that was when it was raining the heaviest.
The rain probably helped them too, though. So it's unfair to say that screwed them because Washington probably more affected by the weather. Passing.
I just feel like both. Yeah, they're more of a passing team than Oregon State, but still, that play was the reason why they lost.
Listen, rivalry. You got to take the points in these rivalries, right?
Yeah,
for the most part. Oregon, though, this is a smash spot.
Smash. Oregon State, Ohio State, Michigan. Oh boy, the adversity that Michigan has overcome to get to this point in the season. We're now on Saturday, 9 a.m. They took all the juice out of the stadium. Michigan fans are going to be so hell bent to prove a point. I would imagine the environment will be lit. This one has come down at -4, down to -3.5. Michigan -175. Ohio State +145. 46.5 is the total. Based on what I saw, ever since producer Josh told me how good JJ McCarthy has looked in the games that he's watched of him, he's not looked very good. and most importantly, I don't know how anyone can take him in a critical spot against what will certainly be the best defense, or at least the second best defense he's faced all year. Did not look particularly good against Penn State.
Emotionally, I want to just take Ohio State.
He looked bad against
fuck up Michigan, but am I being blind to the fact that Michigan's a pretty good team and they bring some physicality? They're at home. Colby, what's your handle on this game?
Are they a good team? Were they just looking ahead last week, Colby?
Yeah, I think so.
I never sweat, but my thing is the other side of that. Kyle McCord, to me, has looked like the worst Ohio State quarterback in
offense
fucking 20 years.
That's also a true statement.
And to me, going up against Michigan defense on the road,
no CJ Stroud here.
I will take the Wolverines to get this done.
Yeah. Michigan laying 3.5, I think, unfortunately, is the correct side. Kramer.
Maybe it's a field goal game. You eat shit on that, but I think it's more
you guys might
than,
eat shit on this one. And
I don't think Ohio State's going to win.
You can't, like they say, call the doctor if you're erect for more than 4 hours. Like the Michigan fans are going to be passing out. They've been hard for so long.
Hey, of course, we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Oh, love Prize Picks. So fun to get down on the action, and they have higher lower for college football as well. Fun to do some cross sports stuff. You could do NFL tied to NBA. And really, if you've been playing on Prize Picks, like imagine, and CJ of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, He actually during the read he mentioned the reboot policy and even said, "Hey, what if you took Joe Burrow higher 1.5 passing touchdowns and he gets knocked out of the game?" Unfortunately, that happened. Injuries do happen, and if you have a player who exits the game in the first half, does not return into the second, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. Like I said, so fun to put together some PrizePicks lineups. Kramer and I have been doing pretty well on our NFL pick show, giving out our lineups over there. Highly recommend signing up over at PrizePicks. Very easy to play. And if you go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use code SGPN for our first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Just thinking about the crazy weekend for me in terms of just I was kind of reconciling all the it was just I can't remember a weekend where I missed so hard on the ATS picks and just got the props so right. I'm myself as a human, like this time of the season, I'm blown away by the juice it's given me. 9 a.m. on the West Coast. I'm real juiced up for the rest of the season, even though the Giants suck. Which, by the way, Colby, I've started to watch the tape on the college quarterbacks. We'll be having some deeper conversations. I'm worried that Bo Nix might be.
I was on the Giants beating the Redskins.
Well, they beat the Commanders, but they also own the football team and the Redskins. Kentucky heads the
AAF's done, buddy.
Louisville, where Louisville.
It's not a part of the USFL XFL merger. Well, they didn't get the.
Maybe
that's
maybe
how
they
strong
come back.
the Giants' dominance over that franchise is. It spans 3 team names, and it's going to span a 4th. Louisville laying 7 here, -290 on the money line. Kentucky +235, 50.5 is the total. It's a massive game for the state of Kentucky. And I got to imagine if you're a Kentucky fan, you are terrified that Louisville is back. Jeff Brom.
Well,
Colby, we were talking about it, making us feel old that a guy that we watched play quarterback, now an old coach in college football.
Definitely makes me feel old. And look, the Brom family, his dad coached high school ball in Louisville. I mean, this is he played at Louisville under Howard Schnellenberger.
Louisville.
His brother played at Louisville. This is what they needed. This is exactly what they needed. This is why it was a home run hire. Kentucky's won 5 of 6 against Louisville, and a lot of them been ugly. There is no way that Kentucky is coming into to Louisville with Brom as coach and getting this one for the game 1. Next year, maybe Stoops answers the calling. I don't know. I am all over Louisville here.
Isn't this their, not to Super Bowl? Like this is making up for lost ground. You pointed out like Kentucky is kind of done well against the rivalry. This is their time to shove it back with like one of the best teams they've had in a while.
Well, and the fact they just hired a guy that like bleeds Louisville. I feel like he's been studying Kentucky tape for 12 months.
Papa John gonna be at the game that could swing my.
He might be in all Kentucky gear these days, but yeah. I mean, I lay the 7.
I'm going Louisville.
Yeah.
Kramer.
What's their record, Kentucky?
They suck. I think they have 6 wins. Is it?
Okay. So, and how many? What's their schedule the rest of the way? Are they going to get 7?
This is pending that, but yeah, if he gets this, he'll get the yeah.
Oh man, Sean, the contract extension clause. He doesn't get 7. He goes right on the hot seat.
Look at these ass whoopings though. They've won by double digits 4 straight years. Brom is not going to put up with that shit, dude.
I'm with you, but this is the game Stoops cares about. He has to get. If he doesn't get this, his contract runs out in 2028 right now, Colby. How is he going to feed his family if he doesn't get this contract extension? Yeah, give me Louisville. Sorry, Louisville. Which, by the way, at least 2 people have told me they appreciate my pronunciation of Louisville. 12:30 on the West Coast.
Confirmed 2 people.
Saturday, at least 2 people. BYU
could be as high as 3.
Could be as high as 3. BYU heads to Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State. At a more normal time to play football. I can't believe they make BYU have 10 a.m. kicks local time. That's just too early. That's too early for youth soccer, let alone
handicap.
Oh, it's great for the Mormons. They don't need caffeine. They're up bright. They're up with the sun, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whatever you
They say the best time to soak is around 8 a.m.
Listen, ever since I found out that soaking is a myth, I'm completely out on the Mormons. They're no longer funny.
Oh, what better way to throw you off the scent than saying it's a myth?
That's true. That's true. So you think they were just projecting and saying they have actual sex? BYU catching 17.5 points here. Wow. Plus 700 on the money line. Oklahoma State got to have it game minus 1100. 57 is the total. They win, they're in, right?
They win, they're in.
Okay.
I don't know if I like that pressure for this Oklahoma State
I don't
team.
either. I'm taking the points, man. I think that's too many points for BYU, man.
I know BYU is not quite the same team on the road, but 17.5 is still 17.5 points.
How's their run defense, BYU?
I mean, I think it's been pretty shitty all year. But
My concern is
I
that
mean, BYU's had some bad spots too. Like they lost by 30 in West Virginia.
you know what? I'm gonna lay it.
Lost by,
but they're not the type of team to like
29.
quit on the season. To me,
yeah.
No, but they could. I think Oklahoma State could just beat them up here. But to your point, are they gonna? When do they pull the?
I like fading Oklahoma State with this kind of pressure.
yeah, especially
That's
like
kind of my
they might
handicap.
win, but it'll be close. You got these BYU 32-year-olds that realize this is their last good shot at life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And yeah.
What do they say about
there's nothing
the,
fun after 34, right?
I think they say if you don't wash the sheets that you soak in, you might get fleas. 80% of the bets on BYU.
Really?
Give me the Oklahoma. Oh, absolutely.
That is surprising.
Gundy rolls here.
17.5 is a trap line.
Hey, welcome to the Big 12, BYU.
I'm still on BYU.
Arizona State. We're heading to Tempe for this one.
The Dust Bowl.
Like Colby mentioned, Arizona very live to make the Pac-12 championship. The last Pac-12 championship ever. Arizona laying 12.5 minus 470 on the money line. Arizona State plus 360. 51 is the total. The Arizona State football program of late has mimicked the electricity I think the co-eds bring to the campus there.
What?
Up and down and up. Oh, just
up
You know,
and down. Okay.
I think that was our fault last week thinking Arizona
Let me
State
get to the end
because
of the
that was
road.
a look ahead. That was a look ahead
Arizona
to the Dust
State,
Bowl.
what the fuck, man?
All
over the place.
They've done so these coaches. So Arizona coaches at Jed Fish, Jed Fish coaches at Arizona, and then Kenny Dillingham is a former Arizona State Sun Devil himself. Grew up in Arizona. They've taken shots at each other in the offseason.
You think they might fight at midfield?
I mean, this would be fun, right? And then you got Arizona, who's fucking red hot.
Fafita.
Yes.
I mean, he's been keeping my bank account alive.
But this is in Tempe.
12.5.
The fake tits will be bouncing, Sean.
If I was a Arizona,
I hate to fade Fafita, but I think you got to take ASU in the points, right?
I think so too.
back in the day, they used to do gladiator or the battle where like one guy would just fight, so the armies don't have to. That if I was a big dog head coach of a football team, I would challenge the other head coach to an exhibition fight.
Sounds like something Biff Togi would be doing.
Oh, can you imagine
Or
this?
Pogi. What's his Pogi?
Yeah.
At halftime, we're gonna watch the coaches box for 3-minute rounds.
Well, we do a college football coaching Royal Rumble on the TCE where I feel like
Where you got fish on that? Pretty low, huh?
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Pretty low. I feel like, well, we've lost some heavyweights over the years. Orgeron was a 1
Oh
seed.
man, nah, he's just built like a pro wrestler.
Even Herm Edwards was a decent seed.
Someone
Gone.
posted a picture of Ed Orgeron from when he was coaching in Syracuse.
Yeah.
It said, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
Can you imagine him
Oh,
up north?
please.
He might rub the Northerners the wrong way. Yeah, you got to take Arizona State here. I mean, the Pac-12 also. Let's not forget the best way for the Pac-12 to end would be the way it's always been, which is they shit all over themselves at the end of the season and find their way out of the playoffs.
So Sun Devils plus 360 is what you're saying.
Yep.
Hey, just a friendly reminder: the show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Oh man, holidays super stressful. End of the year super stressful. The in-laws, the travel, the holidays in general. Whose house are you doing it at? Oh, I got beef with this person. There's so much drama that the holidays bring, especially the end of the year. And therapy can really be a bright spot amid all the stress, all the change, and it can give you a nice spot, a nice place to go to, talk to someone, have them listen to you, pay attention, and really you can work things out. So if you've ever thought about starting therapy, now could be the time for you. Give BetterHelp a try. Have you ever heard someone like, oh, my life got way worse after I started going to therapy? It's like, no, it really is effective and it helps a lot of people and it might help you out. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/SGPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/SGPN. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets and their revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Very easy to use. Get you hooked up with the deep data. I know Kramer and I use it for all these player props we've been nailing. The Justin Fields rushing ladder. CJ gave out the Calvin Ridley ladder. We got ladders on top of ladders. Every good ladder company needs a little data assistance, and Hall of Fame Bets is here to help. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com, promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets.
All right. Taking it down the home stretch. We got a big one here. 12:30 on the West Coast. We're heading to Auburn, Alabama, where Auburn did something spectacular last week. And again, shout out to one of my new favorite podcasts that isn't on the network, College Football Inquirer. Not only did Auburn pay, I think $1.8 million, to get their ass beat by New Mexico State. And Colby, I think, shared that great picture of the New Mexico State player pissing on the.
Yep, Diego pissing Pavia, best player in college football.
But here's the nugget.
Former state wrestling champ.
That's what's pretty awesome. Here's the nugget.
Dog.
There have been 2 games in the last 2 seasons where a 21-point dog won by 21 points or more. Both times it was New Mexico State.
They went out and hired Jerry Kill. This is why.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Both times it was against Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Wow.
Strip clubs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hashtag Legends only.
And all right, so Alabama laying 14.5, -700 on the money line. Auburn +500. 46.5 is the total. Obviously, they're looking ahead last week when they.
I know
the
look ahead. The look ahead.
But you can't lose to New Mexico State like that.
True. But you know how
and they did.
You know how you get back?
Oh, I thought Colby's going to be all over Alabama.
Dude, I'm looking at the history here since 2003. Auburn's had some horrible teams in that.
Yeah, this is one of them.
But dude, they were terrible 2 years ago, and Alabama needed overtime, and probably Auburn should have won that game if you watched it. Alabama would have only covered twice, and actually they have a losing record in the past 20 years in Auburn.
Yeah, I think Alabama wins, doesn't give it the cover. Auburn is shot out of a cannon, especially after losing it to New Mexico.
Do I need to mention too that Strip Club Freeze has Saban's number? He's 2-3 all time when he had the far less talented teams. So I am all over the 15 points here. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line. This place is going to be bananas. I can't wait for this game.
I was scrambling to go look up the
poison those trees.
I was scrambling to go look up the answer to the question of how did Hugh Freeze do after his Liberty Flames got owned by New Mexico State. Let's see.
Well, he left. That's the thing is people said that he checked out. That's why they lost that game potentially because he had already
bowl game after
Auburn.
that.
Yeah,
they would have covered. Yeah, I like your angle of taking the points.
If he takes Alabama, I'm gonna go poison this fucking tree.
No, I like taking Auburn here and the big number rivalry week. Real quick though, rapid response right now. Alabama, Georgia -5 SEC championship game. You laying it? You taking it?
I'm laying it.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think I might need a touchdown to get Alabama versus Georgia. Georgia looks like they're starting to wake up. 1 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Seattle. A little sailgating as Washington State for the Apple Cup. Washington -16.5. Wow. -850 on the money line. 575 for Washington State. 68.5 is the total. Just make it 69. A big win.
Nice.
Thumping of Prime up there. And Prime wanted nothing to do with Bigfoot and Pullman because that place looked lit.
I know they just extended this rivalry for 5 years, which kudos to them, but they still fucked this up. I want to be able to hit this here on. Look, it's like West Virginia Pitt. You put that back on the schedule. It doesn't bang the same unless you put it in the last week of the season.
Well,
No. Look, you can do this between conferences. Notre Dame, USC do it. Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Kentucky. It makes the stakes of the rivalry higher. Putting it on September fucking 5th or whatever is not really honoring the rivalry. You got to have it the final week of the season every year. So please Rethink your fucking ink moving
UVA,
forward.
You can add UVA and Virginia Tech to the pile when they weren't in the same conference.
Yeah, I mean, this has been happening for a long time. Army, Navy haven't been in the same conference.
Why are we not taking the points here?
We are.
We have to take the points.
Right. I mean, Washington should not be working hard in the second. Like they should be focusing on the championship game.
Yeah,
they're live on the money line, and they are live on the money line. The Wazoo is live on the money line here.
And Ward is a guy who can put up a bunch of points. So even if Washington does get out to a big lead, Washington State getting some garbage points is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, Cam Ward outperforming Penix wouldn't be the craziest outcome. Florida State, which by the way, completely agree with Colby point. Keep the rivalries at the end of the year. Florida State heads to Gainesville to take on Florida. No more Graham Mertz, which means Florida is now very bettable. Florida +6.5, +215 on the money line.
No more
Jordan Travis. He's gone because of that horribly cheap tackling technique that the entire world discovered a couple years ago. -265 on the money line. 51 is the total. I've heard that Florida State's backup quarterback is quite good.
Tate Rodemaker.
It's a great name.
So I called this in the beginning of the season. I said that Florida State's quarterback would get knocked out for the season. I'm surprised he lasted this long, but he runs.
Great prediction.
Yeah, it's like Dylan Gabriel.
He's just eventually.
Why are you running him against North Alabama?
It's
first
true.
off,
isn't the point of playing North Alabama
to not play him? Yeah.
I mean, don't be greedy.
That's
with
called karma in my mind. Look, I'm all over Florida here, man. I don't think Florida State. I don't think they're that good, and I think you're gonna have to win a road game now. This guy's never started on the road. You have to go into the swamp.
Isn't this the Zag though? Like a really good team rallying around. This is his first start after you lose Jordan Travis. Isn't this the game where Florida State rallies around him? They go in and they kick Florida's ass.
I mean, potentially, but Florida's playing for a bowl. Florida loses, that Napier might be fired.
I'd also point out that I think that a lot of people are starting to drum up that narrative like, even if Florida State wins out, they got a backup now. They don't deserve to make the playoff.
No, but I'm saying, doesn't that motivate Florida State to run up the score?
No, because I don't think that's going to change the mind.
Last year was a 7-point game in Tallahassee.
Yeah,
Florida's got this. Give me the Gators.
Rivalry week. I mean, gotta take the points.
I'm trying to talk myself into some chalk here in these rivalry games, but it's hard not to take these dogs. I'll go Gators +6.5, but I'm slightly nervous on this.
You lose a guy like Jordan Travis, your team deflates a little bit. You lose a guy like Graham Mertz, you're probably like, cool, let's see what the next guy has. Iowa State heads to Manhattan, Kansas.
Farmageddon.
The little big
Farmageddon rivalry.
Kansas State laying 11.5 on the screen. A big change since we made the graphic in this one, Colby. A little surprised. It's come all the way down to 10, -195 on the money line. Iowa State +310. Like we mentioned earlier, they blew the game against Texas. 48 is the total. Texas it was really not a blown game, but Texas took care of business.
The problem is Iowa State's quarterback, the son of Anthony Beck, and he might end up being good down the road. He's good for one terrible interception at a critical time every week, and that's what happened in that Texas game.
And it's going to happen in this game too.
Yeah.
You like Kansas State here?
K-State went 10-9 last year in Ames, but Iowa State did win in Manhattan the previous year.
Well, and I'm worried a little bit. Kansas State's got to be feeling themselves after getting the win over Kansas. Is this a letdown spot for them a little bit?
It's a rivalry.
Yeah.
What kind of trophy do they play for?
Does have a name.
They have the what is the trophy?
But they just went into Kansas and I guess
you know what? I've been saying it all. Just take the points. Don't overthink it. Take the points. Rivalry week.
Yeah, I think Iowa State bounces back a little bit here.
Give me K-State. They're playing for the Big 12 championship. They need style points too. If it comes down to that tiebreaker and points against.
Oh, really? That can matter?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Iowa State.
Is Iowa State playing for anything?
I mean, no, they're already bowl eligible. So.
And there's nothing. They can't make the championship.
No.
Give me Kansas State. I'm gonna Benedict there. Late Benedict swap. All right, I'm ready to fire whenever you'll have me, Sean.
Okay. All right. Time for the lock, dog, and tease. Kramer, what do you got?
Lock number 1. It's rivalry week. You got to take the points, and I specifically just want to bet into the idea that the Pac-12 is going to just really shit the end of this season. Give me Washington State plus the points. Give me Arizona State plus the points as my 2 locks For my dog, give me Florida on the money line. That's definitely a very favorite play of me. And for my tees, give me Louisville down to 1. Give me Ohio State up to 9.5. Michigan can't beat a good team by 10 points. And give me Kansas State down to 4.
All right. For me, I first lock Louisville -7.
Oh.
Second lock Washington State +16.5. For my dog, oh man, there's a bunch of interesting dogs here. I like TCU. Or sorry, yeah, I do like TCU fading Oklahoma.
I don't want to spoil the basketball show, but I have a lot more dogs on this show.
I'm gonna go TCU money line. Let's roll. For my tees, I will take Auburn up to 20.5. I'll take Arizona State up to 18.5, and then I will take UTSA.
Meet.
I'll take Oregon down to 8. Actually, you know what? I'll go UTSA up to 9.
UTSA not getting much action right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's betting Tulane.
Colby, what do you like?
Lock up Auburn +14.5.
Oh, danger.
Yeah, let's
danger.
go. Bonus lock.
Dog.
Louisville -7. The outright dog. Texas Tech +440.
Whoa, come on, that's a system play. Colby fading Texas one more time in the Big 12.
It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. Tease. Let's take Arizona State up to 18.5.
Okay.
Let's take Auburn up to 20.5.
Okay.
And let's take Texas Tech up to 20.5.
What are you guys sharing notes over there?
And what,
Colby
did he do
knows
the same? Did he do the same?
Colby knows sharp plays when he.
Well,
does it.
the round robin this weekend is just
Can we talk about a potential Arizona State
yes,
parlay
yes,
with?
sure.
I mean, there's a lot of juicy dogs.
Whatever
out
you
here.
want.
Let's start with Arizona State, Washington State. We
Little
both like
Pac-12
those.
one?
Yeah.
All right.
And then what else?
I can we do a Texas? Can we throw Texas Tech into the mix?
Yeah.
All right.
Florida.
Florida too.
Oh, yeah.
Texas
Florida.
Tech, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Well, we can. I think
Round
Florida's
robin?
pushing it.
Round robin.
All right. Well, Texas Tech and Florida
I don't
round robin
need-
by 2s.
I don't need Texas Tech. Aren't we worried that's Colby being Colby?
All right. Florida, Arizona State, Washington State, round robin it, and you're good to go.
Yeah. TCU's interesting too.
Everybody. It's like every dog is
Dogs
juicy. Yeah.
will be barking. Rivalry weekend. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the College Basketball Experience.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, Stacking the Money Green. He's Ryan
I would also make sure you're subscribed to the College Football Experience.
Kramer. Let it ride.